Vandrak runs the Rochester and Genesee Valley Railroad Museum.
It's always a good feeling when the equipment starts up in the morning.
And he takes this train out for a little spin. And in case this doesn't give it away, or the fact that he's hanging out in an old school trolley, he's always been a big fan of trains.
I've been interested in trains and railroading ever since I'm a little boy. I used to collect toy trains and model trains. I like to research the history of railroads and how they affect our communities. And I love that I can come to the museum and use all those skills and interests and show them off to the public.
But he hasn't been able to share that passion with the public because the museum's been closed since the pandemic began. But still, with one shoe at a time and putting on his name tag, he gets dressed to go to the museum at least once or twice a week. Because the museum's not going to be closed forever, now that upstate New York is in phase 4 of reopening. It's a 20-minute drive from his house to the museum. Although that part's the same, this year, it just feels different.
It's really too bad that this summer we're not able to do our full schedule because right now we'd be in the middle of our season. And right now we're just doing the best we can to get the museum reopened.
He gets to the museum and the parking lot's empty. So now he does the only thing he can. Make sure the museum is in tip-top shape. The Rochester and Genesee Valley Railroad Museum started in 1971. It was the site of the former industry depot of the Erie-Lackawanna Railroad. It's one of the rare museums that actually operates trains. And the goal for Otto and other volunteers is to preserve that rich railroad history. And with everything in place, he writes down August 23rd as the day the museum welcomes the public back.
A lot of our volunteers are anxious to welcome people back to the museum and have them learn a little bit about our railroad history.
But until then, it's time to go home. Phillip Boudreaux, Spectrum News.